I don't have this confirmed, but it looks like CM Punk is going to be a heel over on SmackDown now, and Edge, judging from his promo last night, looks to be a face. But I'm not sure about that. We'll have to wait and see at the SmackDown tapings tonight. Speaking of the SmackDown tapings, guys, we hope to have ECW spoilers before we go off the air, and at least half of the SmackDown spoilers before we go off the air at 9 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. They haven't started. Actually, we're just about to start right now at about 7:30 Eastern Time. So as soon as they do, we'll pass those on to you, thanks to Ryan Gray over at ProWrestlingScoops.com, who's doing live play-by-play coverage over there. But the problem I had with, and then I'll let you jump in here, Jose, with your thoughts. The problem I had with it is, you come off a ladder match, you do all those high spots, and I just thought the ladder match should have done it. I thought the pay-per-view should have ended there, and there was another time for CM Punk to come out and cash in the Money in the Bank. I think a ladder match, you do all those high spots, and I think you don't want to tarnish the match itself, where all everybody remembers is CM Punk came out and cashed in his Money in the Bank, and they forget about the ladder match aspect of it. You know what I mean? So that was the problem that I had with it. I mean, it's good to see CM Punk as champion again, and now I'm guessing that he's a heel and he feuds with Jeff Hardy, and then we do something with Edge. And, God, man, I hope they elevate somebody like John Morrison. You know what I mean? But you couldn't elevate John Morrison because he's a face now, too, and then you have a face and a face. So it'll be interesting to see what they do tonight. But overall, man, what'd you think?
I mean, overall, the event itself was interesting. The way they booked the event, the way that they decided to change so many titles, and not so long ago, I believe 2 pay-per-views ago, we saw, I think, 4 title changes. So yeah. I think it's interesting that creative have come up with a concept of Extreme Rules and the aspect of, anything goes in that respect. And that's what Vince is trying to do with these pay-per-views. He's trying to create some sort of chemistry to where people, he wants people to order these pay-per-views. And the same thing like Breaking Point, as we discussed last week. The theme for that one, or at least the idea that's being thrown around, is only submissions match or event. So they brought in Extreme Rules and they changed titles. I just simply think, and I completely agree with you with the CM Punk situation, you had a ladder match, it kind of overshadows the ladder match. Then on top of that, you have three other titles that have changed. The IC title, we knew that. We predicted that the title was going to change. What kind of surprised me was Tommy Dreamer winning the title. And obviously Christian didn't get pinned, so that kind of creates something there in the long term. And, I believe as well as, at least the last I read, that Tommy Dreamer did re-sign a multi-year contract with the WWE. So, I expect him to at least have the title for a short-term basis, let Christian and Tommy Dreamer kind of fight it out. Out of everyone, Dreamer actually deserves it. I mean, especially with the losing streak when the brand first, extended to ECW. I mean, overall itself, the pay-per-view, my letter grade would be B-. It's just the hog pen match, just a little bit entertaining. It wasn't, nothing out of the ordinary. I kind of expected to the results that to happen. I guess just the most compelling finish that I can see right now is the ladders match with, CM Punk coming out and cashing in his Money in the Bank, which, again, I understand what you mean. I mean, it felt like the match itself didn't have that high caliber Edge versus Jeff Hardy. I felt like they were a little bit more careful. I'm not sure if, we all know Jeff Hardy is always carrying some sort of injury, so there might be something there. And, of course, he injured 2 points of his body during the pay-per-view. But I think there was a little bit more caution for Jeff Hardy. And not only that, but, he won the title. Everyone was like, I'm sure the impression was, hey, he won a title, he's staying with the WWE, and then, of course, CM Punk decides to change that up. So, I do expect Hardy.
The thing with that is, when I say CM Punk looks to be a heel right now,
it felt that way.
Well, if they weren't going to make him a heel, they would have had Edge retain over Jeff Hardy, and then you would have had CM Punk come out and hit the GTS on Edge, not Jeff Hardy. You know what I mean? They would have, because that would have still CM Punk would have still been a face coming off that. And the fact that Jeff Hardy won and then he came out and took out Jeff Hardy is rather
kind of gives him that excuse. I mean, because you can only imagine on SmackDown tonight, you'll end up seeing Jeff Hardy and CM Punk, I would imagine, face-to-face, which then, again, exactly what you said, this is kind of like the way to bring CM Punk as a heel. And then, of course, once I believe also Jeff Hardy re-signed a short-term contract, don't know how long that is, but I would imagine it would be an extra month or two in order to probably fit a program with CM Punk. And then, of course, Jeff Hardy takes a break, and then CM Punk continues his heel turn, because I do see him as a heel turn. You can just see that face, especially if you went to WWE.com, and it was just like, yeah, I won, and what?
Yeah. And then you talked about the Tommy Dreamer match. The situation with that is interesting because Tommy's contract expired, and the whole deal with him signing a one-day extension to work the Extreme pay-per-view is not a storyline. I mean, that was legit. So the fact that it almost seems to me, we'll have to wait and see here in the next few weeks, but it almost seems to me that Dreamer may have used that match and that storyline angle that they started about 2 months ago. Well, about a month and a half ago, where he maybe even 2 months, but
I think like almost 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah, where he started that storyline where he said he was going to retire. So my guess is, they said, hey, wait a second, Tommy's been around here for a minute. You know what I mean? And as a show of respect, we'll give him the title. I mean, ECW doesn't mean much to them anyways these days. More of a developmental territory with a TV deal, you know what I mean, where they push these younger guys. I mean, you've got some talent on there, but you've got a lot of talent on there, just a lot of lesser-known names, you know what I mean? So I think, my guess, well, I don't want to say guess. We'll have to wait and see in the next few weeks. But, Tommy Dreamer, it looks like he signed a new 3 to 5 year deal with WWE, as we noted on the website late last night and earlier today as well. It seems to me that, he showed up at the Extreme pay-per-views, the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and they were able to reach an agreement that included an ECW title run that was part of the deal. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I do know that the contract did expire, and they did sign a one-day contract extension, and my guess is something was worked out on Sunday prior to the pay-per-view. But he is going to be.
I'm actually glad that Tommy Dreamer won. I mean, with all the losing streak and the guy dedicated and really the only original from ECW, I think it was a great idea to not only re-sign him. I mean, he has so much presence in the back, especially with the younger guys, and now of course he's a champion. And not only that, but Christian doesn't lose. It doesn't lose anything either. I mean, yeah, he lost the title, but you know what? He didn't get pinned, so he doesn't really lose that credibility. And now you have the ability to see Christian versus Tommy Dreamer. Then you have Swagger, of course, as a third horse.
And then. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they do at the ECW tapings, like you said, because Christian didn't get clean pinned or didn't get pinned clean. You know what I mean? So it's not like you said, it's not like it hurt him. So we'll have to wait and see. I expect that to be an angle on tonight's show. What is the main event? Actually, I think the main event for tonight's show is Tommy Dreamer and Christian against the New Heart Foundation, or the Heart Trilogy, whatever you want to call them these days. I believe that's the ECW main event.
I'm actually at they're now in it. That's exactly what it is. So it's
right,
like
so
Tommy Dreamer and Christian.
They may
the Heart Destiny.
Yeah, they may tease tension between. It wouldn't surprise me to see tension teased between those two on ECW tonight, and then maybe at the Bash do a Tommy Dreamer versus Christian rematch for the ECW title. And then it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think Dreamer's got a long run with the ECW title. I think it'll be fairly quick. And especially now they've got him under a new contract. You know what I mean? So they can do whatever they want. They could have him lose the title tonight, and then say, you know what, dude, we've got you for the next 3 to 5 years. And don't think that Tommy's not dumb enough to know that, you know what I mean, where he gets the title.
It crossed my mind that he was just going to be a transition champion of winning the title just to change the element of the Extreme Rules concept pay-per-view, but then again, you give it back to Christian. But I really feel that this is something that he's going to keep at least, you know, for the next few months. I'm wishful thinking for him, you know, but how booking is, and especially